Well, let's take you back then to the aviation sector, some of the challenges that the industry is still facing today. But let's perhaps reflect on how far the industry has come. Annabel Vundla is, of course, South Africa's first black female pilot, also somebody who had the opportunity of being President Nelson Mandela's pilot. She joins us now from the U.S. Annabel, good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Hi, Kathy. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. I know we're having a bit of issues in terms of our connection, but let's see if it won't be able to hold. We're celebrating Women's Day in South Africa. One of the industries we're looking at is the aviation sector, and just how much transformation, especially when it comes to gender, has taken place in that industry. As somebody who was the first black female pilot, you look back on that moment. It's been a couple of decades now. Under your reflections about your journey and just how monumental it was for you to be in that position at the time.
Well, just to correct you, Kathy, so I'm the first black female captain at South African Airlines, but I was also the first black female pilot and instructor in the South African Air Force. And, you know, it's easy to say first black, but I mean, it's what have you done in the process of bringing others with that is able to share or pick up, to basically, you know, pass the baton to others. I must say it was a very difficult road, very hard and difficult road. And, it has been constant work and support of my peers and my family members. But it has not been easy. But I'm so glad to be where I am now. And try and just bring others into the whole aviation sectors, you know, and try and bring more children or women from disadvantaged backgrounds into the aviation sector.
Did you find that it was difficult in the form of being able to break into the industry, or is also staying in the industry and maintaining a career at the level that you have for as long as you have? Is that quite difficult in and of itself?
Well, of course, initially, you know, coming from Mafeking, it was very difficult to get into the sector because it was not for people that looked like me. So, you know, it was a very difficult road because I didn't have I didn't know anything about aviation except that I knew I wanted to fly an aeroplane. So it's difficult for children coming from disadvantaged backgrounds because they just don't have the finances. So, you know, there are some new programs that are coming through with TETA, with Civil Aviation Authority, and they're trying to sponsor. They have programs where they're sponsoring youth to get their PPLs and their commercial licenses, which is awesome. So, you know, the selected few are able to get into those programs. But it's not for the vast majority which are really trying to get into it. So, you know, I feel the government also needs to come up with more outreaches or more programs to be able to get previously disadvantaged children into the sector. Since COVID, for myself and my aviation colleagues, it's been difficult because, you know, Mango and ComAir have closed, so it's been difficult for colleagues to stay in aviation. So a lot of people went into different and branched into different sectors, and a lot of other pilots and crew left the country, and they're flying at Emirates and they're flying at Qatar. And so hopefully they come back as the aviation sector picks up post-COVID in South Africa.
And what did you find your own experience of a career in this country, in South Africa particularly, has been? I'm not sure what your current circumstance is, of course, especially given the fact that, you know, you were a pilot to former President Nelson Mandela. One would think that in and of itself would have brought on certain opportunities for you.
Well, you know, in aviation, there are certain barriers you have to cross. So you have to get a commercial license, and then you have to get an ATP license. So that's expensive. So it's, you know, the nice thing about flying in the military is that, you know, you get the hours and you get the experience. which exposes you, which makes it easier for you to get into the commercial sector. So one thing I like is that, the military and all these different organizations are spearheading getting more people from disadvantaged backgrounds getting into aviation, which is just so important. So it's not easy, even though you are in the military. But as I'm saying to you now, being in the military, it's a different sort of license. Mm-hmm. So you've got to get the hours, and you've got to get your commercial pilot's license, and you've got to get your airline transport pilot's license, which is the license that allows you to fly for commercial aviation sectors.
Mm-hmm. Annabel Vundla, let me thank you so much for your time, for coming onto the show, and I do apologize for the poor quality of audio connecting to Annabel tonight.